What's going on, folks? It's your man Jay, and it's time to give a follow-up. I've been, I've been tweeting about the, well, not tweeting, but I've been posting on Instagram for the last months or so, saying I was going to do a follow-up, and I just didn't get around to it yet. But in all actuality, folks, I do use an iPhone every day, and it's the iPhone 11. Now, the last iPhone you saw me with was black, and the one before that was the baby Thanos, the purple. Well, ultimately what I did was I got rid of Thanos because it didn't match a lot of my accessories. Now just the purple color, it wore off after a while. Then I went to the black one and didn't like the fingerprints that it produced when I don't wear it without a case. And so I ended up buying a 256 gig one of these for my wife at the Apple store. And I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and just buy me a white one. So I went back and just swapped out the black for white, and that's all I did. But the phone itself launched in September, and I had baby Thanos for the longest of all the different colors, but I just switched colors. So the phone itself is still an iPhone 11, and the iPhone 11 ages very well. Like iPhones in general age very well. So a lot of people bought the iPhone 11. I think the 10R was like their top selling phone because of the price drop this year so far, but the 11 I think is next in line. Don't quote me on that, but I believe the 11 is like their top selling iPhone along with the 10R. This phone has 4 gigs of RAM, the Apple A13 Bionic chip, which is just ridiculously powerful. Pretty much a 3100 milliamp hour battery, 3110 is what it says. And you got the 12 megapixel camera with that ultra wide and then that main lens on there. And the 6.1 inch display coming in at 828 by 1792. To me, I said at the beginning, even though I bought the Pro models, both of them, I told you guys, you know, you probably should buy the 11 because you don't need that extra lens. This is the smartest purchase, and it is the most affordable purchase from Apple that I think is in the new lineup. Obviously, that I think from Apple is it's just the best way to go. Currently, right now, if a person asked me, "Hey, I'm trying to switch to Apple, and I want a new iPhone. I don't want like anything. I want the newest generation." I'm gonna just tell them to get the iPhone 11. The iPhone 11 is in fact just one of the best offerings that Apple has currently. This phone right here, I recently been putting it against the Pixel 3a on Instagram. So if you haven't seen that yet, be sure to head over to my Instagram, Mr. J.O. Williams, and you will see, in fact, the footage that comes from this device. It was kind of a toss-up. More people chose the Pixel 3a XL, and also I just did a front portrait shot with both phones. Now I didn't release which phones matched each photo until after people voted. And so I put it on Instagram and also put it on my YouTube community page. And ultimately more people chose A, which was the Pixel 3a XL. But you know, I don't think the iPhone did bad. It's just a matter of that tint that the iPhone has that some people just don't like. And personally, you have to get the iPhone with the right shot in order to get that great portrait shot that I like. And I think the Pixel devices just do better at that. I think the Pixels are the king of cameras for still shots and portraits in a lot of situations. Not all, but in most situations. So, you know, a lot of people like the iPhone 11's camera. But you know, it's all about personal preference, and I like the people who commented on the camera saying, "I like this about Portrait A, but I like this about Portrait B." I like the ones who kind of went into detail a little bit. But ultimately, this phone has been out since September of last year, and we're in 2020, heading into March. Today is the last day in February of the recording of this video, and we are heading in, and you know, this phone is aging beautifully. Now, even though I switched colors, my baby Thanos and my black one. The black one I didn't have it very long. I think I had that black one for a couple of weeks, and then I switched it out to this one. I'm not sure, but baby Thanos is the one I had the entire time of having all the iPhones. And having this phone so long, it's like I said, it's aging very well. But for me, the cameras and the performance and the battery just do it all for me. I just really enjoy the 4K 60 unlimited recording. I did a video for my car channel, which is Mopar Family Man on YouTube, and I shot an entire video straight through and uploaded it directly to YouTube. And you know, the footage is fantastic. You know, it was at night also. It was a car club meetup that I went to for Central Texas Hemi out in Round Rock, Texas. And it was just fantastic. It was a 5-minute video or so, almost 6 minutes, straight through recorded on the iPhone, and it came out just boss. It came out exactly how I thought it would come out. So I was starting the video up in the background. It came out exactly how I knew it would come out, which was great on an iPhone, man. I mean, the iPhones do way better in low light than they get credit for. They really do. And as far as the photos in low light, I recently posted some two shots that I took on this phone at night on Instagram, and I just feel like cameras are more along for video recording and photos. This is what I love about phones today. It's just a fantastic set of cameras on here that just can't be denied. These cameras beat up on other phones, and it's not just these sets of cameras. I think the iPhones in general. Here's my Pixel 4 XL, which I just love this phone to death. But in general, video, when you compare Apple to certain Android phones, the video on the Apple iPhones just appeared to be better. There's no other way to say that. The iPhone's video, not just because it's 4K at 60 or it's unlimited recording no matter how much storage you have, it's just when your storage runs out, that's when your video stops. So it's not just that, it's the quality that Apple has put into this powerful processor to make these cameras perform the way they do. It's all works together. You know, you got a very powerful processor, and you've got fantastic photos and videos coming from this thing at some would consider a high price, but this is Apple's budget. You know, if you don't like Apple's budget smartphones, don't buy Apple. I mean, because all of their stuff is extremely overpriced, like most phones. But I say to people who say, you know, that none of the iPhones are worth it, because there are people out there that are still saying that the iPhones are not worth the money. I say to you this: if you think the Apple's iPhones are not worth the money, pick up a previous gen iPhone and you will just be blown away just as much as you will with one of these current ones. In particular, the iPhone XR. The iPhone XR is just one of the this just value from an Apple standpoint. You know, it may not have all these extra cameras and all this other, but it's pretty much the same phone, folks, and you're getting the same top-notch performance that you normally get from any of these devices. I just don't have any quarrels with Apple. I can think of some, if I just had to beat this phone up for something, there's not a lot that I would need to complain about. I just think it's a really good phone, and I think it's not just about it being easy to use and consumers should lean more towards this. No, it's just about the phone itself being a great performer overall, and you shouldn't have any problems with this phone. iPhones in general, like I said at the beginning of this video, age extremely well, and that's just what it is. Battery life on this thing is ridiculous. This phone can easily go a couple of days, and then I have a battery case too, so that just pushes it out even farther. I have the zero limit battery case, and it just pushes it out for at least 3 to 4 days worth of usage. It's incredible, depending on how you're using your phone. Now, you're not going to get 3 or 4 days with the zero limit case, pushing it on it 24 hours a day. You might get it 2 days or a day and a half, but end result is the optimization is key on phones, not just iPhones. Optimization is key. So if you have poor optimization, which is what we see on a lot of Android devices, you're not going to get the best battery, even though you might have a 4,000 or 5,000 milliamp hour battery inside. It's just what it is. So people who are looking to get into the Apple ecosystem, the iPhone, to me, at this point in the game, in 2020, I don't think you should go any lower than the iPhone 11, because the iPhone 11 performs with the same processor as the top tier iPhone. It's just missing a camera, and you also get more colors. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I started off with the baby Thanos. I call him baby Thanos, which is the purple joint. And then I went to the black one. Didn't like the black one too much in color. You know, I had my skin on. It just wasn't hitting with the color of the fingerprints, because I don't like to wear cases. This white, like I said, I think this is the newness from Apple. So I love the white, and I love the green also. But the white is the one I decided to go with, just to show like no fingerprints when I'm walking around. And then I just put a matte screen protector on it and called it a day. And that's it. So it's your man Jay, man. I hope you guys enjoyed a follow-up video on the iPhone 11. I've been promising this. Like I said, I've been promising. And I also bought we also got a, well, I didn't buy it. I helped him use my military discount. My youngest boy, he got the 256 gig iPhone 11 Pro Max in white. And I think I tweeted out some of those photos, or not tweeted, posted on Instagram some of those photos. But ultimately, we all kind of switched to a white iPhone. We all had iPhones, and we all just switched to a white one. But end result is the iPhones are so capable, it's ridiculous, man. I really, really enjoy being able to shoot a video on here and edit right on the phone. iMovie is still, to me, the best free editing software on any platform. That's just me. You don't have to agree with that. I respect you if you disagree, but iMovie can do more than some high-end things that you pay for, that I've paid for on Android. Like, so on Android, I use PowerDirector Pro. I love that program, but I just think that iMovie is a little bit more intuitive and it's easier to push through. It gets through faster. It processes the videos faster. It's just a certain amount of things I just like about it. But I don't know. Call me biased to iMovie, whatever you want to call me. But, Android is my top. I prefer Android overall. But when I use an iPhone, I think the iPhone 11 and the iPhone XR don't go any further back than the XR, I would tell you. Just don't do it. Stay with the 11 if you can. Don't go to a XR if you don't go any far past the XR. So it's your man Jay, iPhone 11 follow up. I do use this every day. I don't talk about the iPhones much because I keep an iPhone for pretty much family. I prefer Team Pixel. I prefer Android. I can just do so much more, especially when it comes to my YouTube channel. There's an application called Studio, and if you're a person who runs their YouTube channel, you're gonna have that application right there, Studio, and you pretty much can control your. And I've said this in videos before. I know you heard me say it before, but you can control your YouTube channel from the Studio app. Ultimately, you upload, edit. You can upload to the YouTube app and you edit things and add tags and fix it in the Studio app and respond to comments and things like that without having to get on YouTube. And by far, Android Studio app crushes the iPhone Studio app because you can't cut and paste a lot of things. You can't do certain things. But ultimately, that's not enough to make me say that I don't enjoy this iPhone. I think social media in general is always better on iOS for some reason. I don't know what that's about. I like Instagram better. I like Twitter better. When I do use Twitter, I haven't used it in a long time, but with my Mopar family man, I do. But ultimately, social media appears to run better and smoother on iOS. And I don't know why that is. This isn't the first time I've said it. I've said it a million times. So follow up on the iPhone 11, man. What is that? September, so October, November, December, January, February. We're heading into 6 months, 7 months with the iPhone 11. Aging very well. Do I plan on grabbing the new iPhone when it comes out? Probably so. Every year I buy an iPhone, not because of the great resale value, but it's more along the lines of I trust Apple when it comes to certain things. And I just can't, I'm not going to front. And, I'm pro Android and pro BlackBerry, but I definitely trust Apple with certain things. Are there things expensive? Yes, I have a 5K iMac. Yes, I have a Mac Mini. Yes, I have a lot of Mac computers, but just their ecosystem is so solid and so user friendly. I guess I don't know how to put it into words. It's just ready to go. It's ready for the world. It's ready for anyone to use it. You buy one Apple product, you buy another one, they sync up all on their own. You don't have to work hard to do anything. So I appreciate Apple for that. So Apple fans, rejoice. Apple is not my favorite choice for phones or my first choice, but I have to keep an iPhone around. So why not get one that's powerful, looks good, and works good? It's your man Jay. I'm out. Deuces to him. Yes.